Hello everyone, this is a quick overview of PrepKit's dashboard. The very first thing that you will notice here is the name of your PrepKit. It could be Linux Professional or it could be something else depending upon which PrepKit you have chosen. You will also see the PrepKit code, and this is generally matches to the PrepKit code provided by the vendor. You have a couple of three actually social icons. So you have Facebook, you have Twitter, and you have Google Plus, where you can um, talk about our PrepKit and talk about this to your friends. You have license type. Essentially, what kind of license? There are three types of license that we have, and it will show up here. Pre-assessment, you get 15 questions absolutely free. So even if you have not bought the prep kit, you will get these 15 questions, and you can assess your readiness to take the exam and pass your exams. And again, it's totally free. Doesn't matter. You don't have to buy the prep kit to actually use it. You have a book, and book actually contains a number of chapters, and all these chapters and sections and objectives totally match with vendors' exam objectives one to one, and we make sure that we provide details in all of those areas, so you don't have to figure out which sections to study or not because it's matching 100%. You also have something called practice questions. So essentially, there are a number of practice questions. You could take a practice question in sets. For example, we have a total of 405 questions in 9 test sets. So 9 test sets from and we'll start with A and then we'll go for 9 test sets. There are other ways also where you can practice. There is a custom test that you can create based on chapter. So, for example, you've just studied the chapter number 1 in the book. Correspondingly, you can actually take practice. You can do practice only for that chapter and nothing else. So you can be very focused. And also, all these practice questions come with full explanation. So essentially, when you're reviewing your answer, you can also look at an answer and see why a answer is correct and why other answer options are not correct. And you have all those details. Finally, you have a final test, and that final test is unique in a way where you are given at least half of the questions that you've never seen before. So you actually have to um, uh, kind of use your knowledge to get to the answer to those. And half of the questions are where you actually had problems. Our system tracks everything, and we can create a very customized final test for you, where we can test all of that and make sure that you are totally ready for your certification exam. Um, we have a flashcard, and flashcard, essentially anything that you are seeing in the book can be converted and is converted into a flashcard, and that's where you get a little bit more engaged with the learning material, because now you have to think and you have to look at a particular word or keywords, and you have to kind of think what does it really mean. So it's a little bit more engaging, while the book is generally a passive exercise. We have quizzes. Now, these items are not going to be asked in the exam, but these items are fundamental to to your understanding. So these are the tidbits of information that you will do well to remember. We have all of this backed up by analytics. So anything that you do in the system is noted down, and every single. So, for example, if you took a test, we note down how long it took for you to answer something. We note down whether you will able to answer it right or wrong. And same thing with the book. And as you read through those chapters, we make a note of how much time you spent in every single item, and we present that via a number of very colorful and informative reports. In some of the areas where we are tracking your activities, you can actually even go back and say, create a custom test set only for the only for the items where you were wrong, where you provided wrong information or your answer was incorrect. You could just very well create a custom test set and then repeat the exercise, but only focusing on areas where you were weak. Now, all of that put together in a study planner. The study planner essentially gives you one single number. So that number will be somewhere between 0 to 100, and that's your preparedness number. And that number tells you where you are. And the more closer to your 100, the better it is for you. And then you are ready for taking your final certification exams. And we also have something called certificate of completion. Essentially, once your readiness reaches 90%, you will see this bar, actually you will see this bar moving. For example, as you reach 100%, it will come all the way here and it will become green. But around 90%, by the time you are at 90%, we assume that you have done a good job, you have studied everything, you have answered your questions, you have practiced everything, and at that time you can actually click here and print a certificate, and that is certificate of completion, and which is of course included with the product here. One last thing, as I mentioned, that the pre-assessment is absolutely free. You don't have to buy the product to use it. The same thing with the book. The first chapter of the book is always free, so you can look at the quality of the material. You can see. So I invite you to explore and learn what we do, and feel free to ask us if you have any questions or let your friends know about it. Thank you very much.